Hey guys, this is Jordan, aka JP Dillon, with another quick service tip for those that own Sanyo Fisher style power amplifiers. These are identified by the famous Studio Standard. They were made from the late 1970s to the mid 1980s, made by the Sanyo Fisher Corporation, and they started with the designation CA. So the CA, like the 271, 273, etc. Now these aren't terrible amplifiers. They have a robust transformer. They have okay heat sinking, not really 4 ohm stable. The main fault of these has to do with the soldering on the boards, and I'll show you what the targeted areas are. If we just flip this up on the side so you can see it here. This is an example of a 273, and it's got these Darlington power packs. Now the areas of concern are around the driver stage, which is up at the front here. I've already resoldered most of this, but any of these TO126 transistors, bias transistors, TO220 regulators, they all break loose. The components in the protection circuit, such as it is, which is really just a timed relay circuit, break loose. This one really isn't that bad of an amplifier. It's an intelligent design. They may not have adequate heat sinking, so what they do is a dual power supply. What you see here, top and bottom, are high voltage switching transistors. Now normally, the set runs at plus and minus 30, which produces around 25 watts, 30 watts. And so normal listening levels, there's more than adequate heat sinking. Now when the volume exceeds a certain threshold, these switch in plus and minus 65 volts, which makes for about 110 watts per channel. Now it can't do that continuous, and there's no intelligent circuitry to tell it to back off a little bit. So the common failure is that these things overheat, and when they overheat, usually the power packs die, and it causes a huge offset and it murders the speaker, because the quote-unquote protection circuit is really nothing more than a timed circuit that mutes everything for about 5 seconds and then connects the speakers. And it will connect the speakers even if there is a DC offset, so not the greatest. If the machine has suffered a failure and you replace the amplifier, you must also replace the protection relay, which I went over in one of my other videos regarding an Onkyo TX26. The original relay, if it's still kicking around here, I think I might have tossed it already. It's just basically a 3.5 amp relay, which isn't worth a shit. So, also, the sliders you can treat with ca-2xx. Don't use fader lube, it makes them very touchy. Other than that, it's actually not a bad little thing. And so if you've got one of these, any of these generation all need resoldering. And you need a good hot soldering iron, about 50 watts, a nice point, and some really good 60-40 solder. Resolder them, check for an offset. This one uses the power packs. Some of them use the giant plastic TO3 type transistors. But they are not 4 ohm stable, so don't hook a 4 ohm load up to these, they'll overheat right quick. Anyway, again, this is for the older Fisher CA series, like the 271, 273, 275, etc. Solder them, take care in your speaker loads, and they're actually not a bad thing. One final note is that some of them, like the 273 and up, will have speaker fuses here and here. They're usually anywhere from 5 to 6 amps. Change them. Change them to 4 amps. You don't need a 5 or a 6 amp fuse in there. The reason why is that when the amplifier dumps, in most cases into an 8 ohm load, that 5 or 6 amp fuse will not blow, and you'll cook your speaker. So a 4 amp fuse is more than adequate. I don't think you're going to be cranking it up to 100 and something watts continuously. That would be deafeningly loud. But anyways, hope this is helpful for the owners of the Fisher Studio Standard Series amplifiers. Any other questions? Please feel free to post in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. More videos to come soon.